since you were a child, as you grew up, you always have been curious about Japan.
That's right.
So maybe your vision quite changed. So when you were a child, you had this vision maybe about what your grandfather told you about
Yes.
movies and ninja.
Yes.
But when you applied for mixed scholarship, I guess you had another image of Japan.
Yeah, actually, I really had several images of Japan. In that, when I joined high school, I started understanding economies, how things work, and products. And one of the things that I came to realize was that any motor in Africa was either called Toyota or Honda. It gave me a certain kind of sensation that I felt like, okay, these products still come from this country, Japan. And then it again added to my previous or earlier interests of Japan. And then when I joined the university, something interesting happened. There was a female teaching assistant who had just joined our university, and she was so hopeful in that she inspired me because she got a scholarship to study in Japan, but it wasn't the mixed scholarship. So she came through the IE scholarship, the IE initiative. The IE initiative is well known in Africa, funded by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. So she applied through that scholarship and had the opportunity to come to Japan. So when she was in Japan, she was like my focal point. She was the person I could interact with when I had questions. And good enough, she was in the computing environment. She was in the same career, however much I was doing information technology, and she was from a computer science background. So she gave me some really good narration, not only about academia, but also I am someone who grew up with very different nationalities. I grew up with people from a little bit different countries from Africa, knowing different cultures. So I really cherish cultures that are new to me. So she told me so much about the cultures of Japan, about the do's and the don'ts, about life generally, the cost of living, and many other things. So I came to realize that in Japan, it's not only about your career or education, but also it gives you an understanding of other people's cultures. It also gives you a sense of belonging in a society where your cultures might be way different, where you might, of course, it also gives you an opportunity to be ready for a culture shock, if at all there will be any, because I understand our cultures are not all the same. Yeah. And also, maybe before I forget, before applying for the mixed scholarship, I realized that Japan as a single country had one of the largest numbers, one of the biggest numbers of those people, scientists, great people, and hard workers who were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, who were recognized. So it really gave me an understanding that if I am to go to Japan, then I will have so much to gain. Yeah.
So you went to Japan thinking mostly like maybe first you had this image about when you were a child and you
Yes.
discovered this country which seems quite impossible to exist on Earth for you.
Yes, that's right.
But you also had some motivation about discovering a new culture and investing yourself in with a country who can bring you new knowledges and help you
Yes,
go further.
exactly.
And so there are two sides, maybe, as you said, culture and studies. So
Yes.
for you, Japan were the best country to go and continue your study in computer science, in technologies.
I beg your pardon?
Was Japan the best destination for you to improve your skills in your field?
Oh, yes, yes. I think that throughout the world, Japan is one of the most technologically advanced countries. However small it is, it has enormous and gigantic technologies. It has been recognized throughout the world for the products and the technologies and the kinds of techs that they employ. So I think coming to Japan was the best decision